Hi everyone. Today we are going to continue with our new topic, which is topic 4, proposal writing, and this is part 1. First thing first, what is a proposal? A proposal is a document prepared to outline plan of a project, event, program, research, and so on. Then, what is proposal writing? Proposal writing is the process to create that document which entailed detailed plan, ideas for a project, a program, an event, or maybe a research. And basically, it is to persuade the audience, meaning the reader, all right, of the proposal to take an action or make a decision based on the suggestion made in the proposal or based on the idea proposed in the proposal. Okay, in the proposal, okay, you will see lots of outlines, maybe solutions, the problem itself, of course, and then maybe some data, maybe budget, or timeline to complete the task or the program or the project. Okay, and this document, which is the proposal, is usually written in various fields or various contexts. Okay, depending on the purpose of you writing the document. Primarily, the purpose of proposal writing is to communicate a plan, an idea, or a request effectively. And it is, as I said, to make the audience take the next action, to convince them to take the next action. Okay, all right. However, specifically, depending on the context, the purpose might differ from one proposal to another proposal. Okay, for example, marriage proposal is different from a research proposal. Business proposal is different from a project proposal or an event proposal. They may be the same, a proposal, but the specific purpose will be different depending on the context in which it is written or it is prepared. Okay? Okay, what you are seeing here are some of the common purposes of proposal writing. As I mentioned earlier, depending on what are the context of you writing the proposal, the purposes might be different. Okay, we are talking about the specific purpose, all right? For example, here, number 1, solicitation of funding, meaning that you are writing the proposal to get grants, for example, or sponsorship, okay, all right, for a project or a research, okay, project approval, business development, research funding. You may also write a proposal to get government contracts, to develop policy, to plan a project, or to solve a problem, okay? And you may also write a proposal for a product or service introduction, or partnership, or collaboration, academic admission, grant applications, project evaluation, marketing and sales, human resources. Maybe probably you want to introduce new policies to the HR department or to the organization. Okay, sometimes they do so. All right, and last but not least, for non-profit fundraising. Now, We're going to look at the characteristic of a proposal. Okay, overall, generally, okay, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characteristics of a proposal. Let's look at it one by one. All right, the first characteristic of a proposal is for it being purposeful, meaning that when you prepare or when you write a proposal, you need to have a very specific purpose and specific audience. All right, basically, when you prepare a proposal, you need to know why you are writing it and to whom will the document be read. Right, for example, a research proposal is written to outline the research plan, okay, and then the audience will be your supervisor, your examiners, okay, either internal examiner or external examiners. Number 2, the tone. When writing a proposal, you need to use a formal tone. Why? Basically, when you prepare a proposal, most of the reader will be someone or somebody, or the audience will be someone whom you may not know, a stranger. Okay, so that's why when you write a proposal, the tone must be professional and formal. The language must be used respectfully and appropriately. Number 3, structure. For the structure, okay, different organization will have different structure or ways to organize the content of a proposal. So read carefully, learn about it, know about it, okay, how to write the proposal, okay, the structure, follow that. Where to write the introduction, the problem statement, the budget, or maybe how to even write the conclusion. Number 4, research based. What does it mean here? It means that when you want to provide evidence, you need to support it with facts. Okay, not just based on your assumptions. You need to go and do further reading. And then you can make in-text citation, cross-reference and whatnot, because all the information must be factual. Number 5, persuasive. What does it mean? Okay, meaning that when you write a proposal, you're writing to persuade the audience, whomever they are, to take an action. Okay, either to approve your proposal maybe, or to agree to what you are proposing maybe, all right? It must be persuasive enough. So the language you use itself will affect, okay, how you write your proposal. Okay, it will be affected. All right. And then number 6, it must be audience-centered. That's why at the beginning, when you start preparing for a proposal or when you start writing for a proposal, you need to know who will read your proposal. So it is mostly audience-centered, tailored to the audience. Okay, and last but not least, it must be clear and concise. Meaning, when you write, make sure the language you use is not too complex, not too difficult for common people to understand. Avoid using unnecessary terms or unnecessary jargon, unless the audience will be someone in your field. Okay, if they are not from your field, then use general words, general vocabulary, layman terms and whatnot. All right. Next, what you are seeing now is a summary on the language conventions to be used in a proposal. Okay, when you are writing a proposal, these are some of the language conventions you should apply. Okay, so let's look at it one by one. Firstly, formal language. Use formal language when you write your proposal. Avoid using colloquial or slangs. short forms, for example, when you write in a proposal. The main reason here is, you still remember what I mentioned earlier? You need to achieve formal tone. One of the ways to achieve formal tone is by using formal language, formal vocabularies, okay? Formal expressions, all right? You are writing to strangers or maybe people with different status, higher status maybe. When you are writing a research proposal, you're writing to your supervisor, much higher status than you are. External examiners, higher status than you are. Sponsors maybe, funders, okay, sponsors or funders, they are of different status than you are. So use formal language to achieve that formal tone. That is number one. Number two, third person point of view. Avoid using I or we or ours, okay, yours and whatnot in your writing. Use third person point of view. For example, instead of writing, I would like to propose a research, instead of that, use third person point of view like this. This research proposal is written to propose. Okay, so that is third person point of view. Number three, technical terminology. For technical terminology, unless you are writing or your audience will be someone in the field, avoid using too many technical terminology. Okay? And even if you want to use the terms, okay, make sure you explain the definitions. Okay, you clear? Right? Because those outside of the field may not understand what you are talking about, the term you are using. So either you provide the definition to them or avoid it altogether, especially when you are talking or when you are writing to an audience who may not be in your field, who may not know what the topic is about or the subject matter you are talking about. Okay? All right. Use layman term or common words to make it easier for you when you explain the word. Okay? If you can have a synonym of it, then why do you need to use technical term? Okay? Use simple words. All right? Next, number four, clarity. Okay, you need to prioritize clarity, precision. Okay, why? Because you need to avoid the content of your proposal, the information you have in the proposal, to be understood incorrectly. Ambiguous meaning, ambiguous message. Okay, so you need to make sure that the clarity is available. Number five, professional tone or formal tone. Usually when you use formal language, the professional tone will be available. Okay? All right. Number six, use correct grammar and punctuation. All right. If you make any grammatical errors or punctuation errors in your proposal, it shows that you are being careless. Okay, your credibility, of course, will be tarnished. Okay, so make sure, check, double check, proofread your work or your proposal from any grammatical errors or punctuation errors. Next, number seven, organize structure. Okay, use numbers, bullets, okay, headings, subheadings to organize your content. Okay, make sure the structure or the organization is arranged in logical manner. Next, number eight, use formal salutations and closing if you need to prepare any salutations. Okay, all right. Number nine, if you refer to any references or books or journals, make sure you have proper citations and references. Use proper citation style. APA, MLA, IEEE, use proper citation style. Okay, your in-text citation, your reference list, what you have in your text must be in the list. What you have in the list must be in the text to avoid plagiarism. Okay, and then number 10, consistency. Being consistent in your formatting, your styling, okay, your language. Okay, they use, for example, if from the beginning you use US English, then US English throughout. Okay, make sure the spelling is correct. If you use UK English, then UK English throughout. The type of fonts, the sizing, the spacing, the alignment. Okay, if you use justify, then justify throughout. Don't change. Okay, be consistent. All right, I think that will be all for part 1. I shall continue the next content in part 2. See you there in the next video. Bye.